Hey everyone, Jen Broyles here, and today I am going to talk with you guys about something that's actually quite uncomfortable for me, and that is being vulnerable. What is vulnerability? Why is it important? And why is it so hard for some of us to be vulnerable and be open with others, right? So for me, I am a recovering perfectionist. I have always been a perfectionist and just wanted to do everything perfectly, do everything right, be the best. And for that type of personality, being vulnerable and being open means showing others your flaws and your imperfections. So that made it extremely hard for me to be that way. And so, when I first started experiencing gut issues in college, I kept it a secret from everyone because I didn't want anybody to know about this difficulty that I was experiencing. And I didn't want to talk about it. I was worried what other people would think, how they would react, how I would be perceived. And so I just kept it to myself and dealt with it inwardly, which did nobody any good. And, now I can look back and see that was not the right way to handle it. But have you ever felt that way yourself? Whether it's gut issues or maybe your weight or emotional and mood issues, maybe it's dealing with overwhelm or fatigue or stress or something else that's going on that you just kind of keep to yourself and you don't share because we don't want to feel inadequate or less than. So often we want to come across to other people that we've got it all together and life is great. And for me, I know that feeling of, or that perception at least, of being judged or criticized was almost too much to bear. And it was just so much easier for me to put up walls, right? And so I was never very open. I never offered up information easily. And I still don't, but I've gotten a lot better at it. But, I think the underlying thought or belief for me was that vulnerability equaled weakness. And I always wanted to appear strong and put together. I didn't want to appear weak and fragile, right? And so I got really, really good at masking issues, masking problems. And, whether they were physical, mental, emotional, whatever those problems were, whatever the things that were playing inside my head, I just kept to myself and I didn't share those. And what I've learned over the years is that vulnerability equals strength, it equals courage. And opening up and exposing your true self is really, really scary, but it's incredibly healing and incredibly empowering. It's one of those things that we really need to be able to do to, progress in life. And especially when it comes to healing our bodies and our minds, getting those emotions out is incredibly powerful. When you keep them bottled up, they literally can manifest as illness. And so releasing those emotions, talking about the things that are going on with somebody is incredibly freeing, empowering. One of my favorite authors as of late is Brené Brown. I started reading her books a year or so ago, and I have just absorbed every single book she's put out and love everything she has to say because I feel like she is talking to me. I mean, it's really, really amazing. I just totally relate to everything she says. And she says that vulnerability is the core of all emotions and feelings. To feel is to be vulnerable. To believe vulnerability is weakness is to believe that feeling is weakness. To foreclose our emotional life out of a fear that the cost will be too high is to walk away from the very thing that gives purpose and meaning to living. Our rejection of vulnerability often stems from our associating it with dark emotions like fear, shame, grief, sadness, and disappointment. emotions that we don't want to discuss. How powerful is that? And how true. I mean, that's exactly how I felt. And that's exactly what I was doing. And now I see how destructive that was. Being vulnerable can be healing, not only for you, but for others with whom you expose yourself. And quite honestly, that's why I do what I do now. I've learned the power in sharing experiences. I've become more comfortable in opening up and sharing my own struggles. Really not, for my benefit, but with the intention of being able to help other people. And that's quite honestly what has given me the strength to do it, is thinking that it might help somebody else. Otherwise, it would be really hard for me to offer up my stories. But stories are powerful. And while it's not always easy or comfortable to share my story or express my thoughts online where anyone can see into my life, I know it's necessary and it is so empowering, right? If one person is helped by anything I say, or if one person is helped by anything that you share, then it's all worth it. Vulnerability is uncertainty, it's risk, it's emotional exposure, and that can be terrifying. But you know what? Love is the same thing. Love is uncertain, love is risky, love exposes us emotionally, and it's scary. But can you imagine living your life without loving or being loved? That's not a full life. And so when I've gone through challenging times, I have appreciated so much hearing from others who've walked a similar road before me and how they succeeded and how they managed and how they prevailed. Those stories, those testimonies, those experiences, those people opening up and being vulnerable have helped me so much. And I hope to do the same. We're in this together. If one of us overcomes our struggle, we must share it in a positive light to instill hope and healing for others. So I'd love to ask you, do you struggle with opening up, being open and vulnerable and honest, and sharing your flaws and exposing your struggles? If you're like me, then you probably do. It's probably difficult. It's probably scary. But I encourage you to do it more, to step past that fear and share with people what you're going through, and being honest and authentic. And I think you'll find that people will respond really well to that, and you'll be amazed at how much better you feel too. So I hope this was helpful for you, and we will talk again soon. Bye.